The day following her 13th birthday party, Madeline Soto went missing. The Orange County sheriffs in Florida proceeded on the best and only information they had, the story offered by Maddy's mother, Jennifer, and her partner, Stephan. As investigators spoke with others in her life and made attempts to retrace the young girl's last movements, they began to discover the shocking and disturbing secrets that likely led to the end of Maddy's young life. Hi there, I'm Kevin, and welcome to Just Thought Lounge. Today's case is a heart-wrenching story that has already captured national and international attention. This story is both sad and disturbing. Some of our viewers may find aspects difficult to hear. We will not be dwelling on unnecessary details, but I nonetheless offer a word of warning that some of you may find certain references upsetting. Let's take a look. On February 22, 2024, Madeline Soto turned 13 years old. That weekend, she celebrated with a birthday party at a family member's home in Central Florida. Maddy lived with her mother, Jennifer, at the Venetian Bay Village complex in Kissimmee, just south of Orlando. She was a student at Hunters Creek Middle School. Maddy may not have received the best grades, but she was described by her teachers as a sweet girl. She was simply prone to distraction. The 13-year-old was diagnosed with ADHD. Maddy told friends that the medication she was prescribed would make her tired, so more recently, she had just stopped taking it. What was concerning were reports by teachers that she was often fatigued in class, her head down, her eyes closed. Friends reported that Maddy was often sad. They said that she cried without offering a reason. At other times, she complained to them about her mother. She called Jennifer bipolar and said that they argued frequently. Of Jennifer's boyfriend, Stephan, Madeline spoke affectionately to her friends. They reported that she was close to her stepfather, often texting or even FaceTiming him throughout the day. It may not have seemed relevant at the time, but in early 2024, Madeline also spoke about her desire to run away from home. She told friends that she would build a house out in the woods. As soon as she was 13, she said she planned to pack up and leave home. On Monday, February 26th, the day after Maddy's birthday party, Jennifer Soto drove to Hunter Creek Middle School to collect her daughter. She waited as the children streamed out from the doors. As they dispersed, it became clear that Madeline was not amongst them. Thinking that Maddy may be with her grandmother, Jen walked to her mother's office building. It was close to the school and somewhere Maddy had walked to in the past at the end of a school day. But she wasn't there. School administrators checked each period's attendance records and informed Jen that her daughter had not attended classes that day at all. She began immediately to search the surrounding area, in her car and on foot. By just after 4:30 p.m., with no signs of Maddy, two unidentified women made calls to 911 on behalf of the distressed mother. From her mother's office building, near to the middle school, Jen and others waited for police. There were no more obvious locations to search, and no sign of Madeline.
And the child that you're trying to report missing, are you calling on behalf of the parent?
Yes, on behalf of the mother. She's like,
okay. And then, so, ma'am, I just want to confirm, though, was she last seen from this address? Is this where you guys last saw her?
No. She was last seen at the church next to Hunters Creek Middle School. I think it's called Peace Church. I'm not sure of the exact address.
Does she have a cell phone that she might keep on her person?
She doesn't. She had one, but she left it at home conveniently today.
Okay.
We have a missing child since this morning. We already called 3 times.
Yes, ma'am. I see it. Just waiting for a deputy to respond.
You're waiting for a deputy response?
Yes, ma'am.
And how long more do we need to wait? It's a child missing.
I understand that, ma'am, but I'm just not able to give out ETA. I don't know when they'll be there.
So how long do we need to wait? This
Ma'am,
is an emergency.
Ma'am, we are very busy in the area. Look, I understand, and they'll be there as soon as they can, okay?
It was nearly 8 p.m. when deputies responded to the call-out. With Jen were a handful of individuals offering support, including her boyfriend, Stephan Stearns.
She was supposed to be dropped off at school, didn't make it to school.
Didn't make it to school. I went to pick her up from school today, and she never came out. They announced it over the speaker, and I'm just like, maybe she walked here, because sometimes she'll walk here to this office. I came here, nothing. I went back to the school, they were closed. I got an email from the school saying she was absent, but I also messaged her teacher, and he looked at her entire attendance today and saw that she was completely not at school today either. So she never made it.
According to the school, teachers have until 3:30 in the afternoon to report their students' attendance. The automated call notifying Jen that Maddy had not been in class would not be made until 5:45 that night. By that time, Madeline had been missing for nearly 8 hours. The mother was already in a panic, walking the surrounding area searching for signs of Madeline and making calls to police.
What was she last seen wearing?
Green hoodie,
Green hoodie,
white Crocs,
white Crocs,
either blue or black pants.
I think black shorts.
Black shorts?
Yeah.
black shorts. Okay. Black shorts. All right.
Police would learn that it was Stephan that drove Maddy to school that morning. He chimed in to provide a description of what she was wearing. Notably, Jen inserted to clarify that Madeline had been wearing black shorts. That Jen seemed to know what Maddy was wearing that day suggests that she saw her daughter before she left for school, a fact that would later be questioned. Jen searched her phone for the most recent photo of Madeline, one taken from her birthday party the day before.
Okay, where's the photo? Right there.
It's on that top.
That's fine.
Maddy had forgotten her cell phone at home that day. According to Jen, her forgetfulness was not uncommon. It was a symptom of her ADHD.
By any chance, does she have a phone number or phone?
She does, but she left it at home today. I have it.
You have it.
And I've already gone through her messages.
Okay. How about, does she have like Apple Watch?
She's got a device. The only device she's got on her right now is her school laptop.
A school laptop? Is that trackable?
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
It should be. If the Wi-Fi is turned on, it'll try to connect to any Wi-Fi. So if I circle here.
Maddy's school-issued laptop was trackable, though it had not been turned on since Sunday, the day prior. Stephan then told police that we, implying that both he and Jen, dropped her off a block away from the school that morning at roughly 8:30 or 8:40 a.m.
And when was the last time you seen her? Do you know around what time?
Around 8:30, 8:40 when we dropped her off.
How tall is she?
5'1".
Weight?
110 pounds.
About 110, 112.
Does she have any markings on her, like any scars or anything like that?
There's a distinctive beauty mark on her face
On
here.
her face?
On the face, like below the nose or near the nose?
Yeah, like right in that area there. It's very distinctive. You'd know it if you saw it. Big.
Stephan spoke independently with deputies following the missing persons report. The officers were beginning to piece together a timeline of Maddy's last known movements. They learned that Stephan had taken her to school that morning, something that he claimed to have done on occasion, but was in fact a rare task for the self-proclaimed stepfather. Madeline was commonly taken to school by her mother or grandparents. Her biological father kept in touch with her, but was not actively in her life. It was Stephan who claimed to have assumed this fatherly role.
We have a very strong bond. I'm the person she goes to when her mom gets in a fight with her and she needs someone to comfort her. And like, I'm that person for her, This girl knows nothing but love here in this house.
According to the stepdad, when he does take Maddy to school, she asks that he does not drive her all the way to the building, but rather prefers to be dropped at a distance so she can walk up. The reason for this is that she thinks Stephan's vehicle, a silver 2010 Lincoln, is unattractive. Stephan agreed to drop her near to Peace United Methodist Church, located at Town Loop Boulevard, which is approximately a 5-minute walk away from Hunter Creek Middle School.
Early. The plan was that we were going to get McDonald's breakfast on the way, so we made amazingly good time.
I don't mean to interrupt you, okay? Neither of us were here yesterday, so if you can be kind of like specific about like times and stuff like that, okay?
Woke up around 7:15, somewhere around there, which is an early start for us, but we had talked about getting McDonald's breakfast. We did make good time. We got out the door maybe 7:30, 7:45-ish maybe. Got over to that area. She was asleep in the car most of the time, just snoozing until we got there. We got to McDonald's, close to McDonald's. I said, "You still want it?" She wasn't interested in McDonald's anymore, so we continued on. And she wanted to be dropped off a little down the ways from the school. She's got this phase that she's been into lately where she's very particular about what car she's seen getting out of the school. She prefers her mom's car. That was sometime probably between 8:20 and 8:40-ish, somewhere in there. It was along the stretch of the road that on the right side that has all the communities on it. Mm-hmm. Before you get to the overpass. You could see the overpass from where it was. Mm-hmm. So it was on that side, on that stretch of road. Yeah.
He stated that after he parted ways with Maddy, he watched as she looked through her backpack.
She said she was going to go wait for her friends. She was going to find them and hang out and wait for her friends. And I asked if that was going to be okay. She said, "Yeah, it's fine. Kids get dropped off early enough as it is. It's not totally unusual for that to happen. It's just not usually that early that I drop her off. I do school runs every once in a while for her." I said, "Okay. Let her out. Have a good day. Love you. Thanks. Love you too." And I turned around and was driving away and was watching her in my rearview mirror to make sure that she was going where we were supposed to go. And she was moving in that direction, but she was rummaging around in her backpack or something. What I assumed was probably headphones or something. I found out later that she forgot her phone here, so she may have been rummaging for her phone.
Jen Soto told police that she saw Maddy at 11 p.m. the night before, when her daughter and Stephan went to bed, together, in the same room. Jen told deputies in 2 separate conversations that the 3 of them regularly slept together in one bed as a family. But as Jen had recently started a new job, she chose to sleep separately from Maddy and Stephan in order to get a better sleep. Queried if it was common for her to leave her boyfriend and daughter alone, reports show Jen offered different responses. In one instance, she said it was rare for this to take place. In another conversation, she admitted it was not an uncommon arrangement in the house, but one that did not concern her. She stated that she had been hypervigilant with Maddy around Stephan, but had grown more relaxed over the years. The two had been together on and off for roughly 7 years. Throughout that period of time, Stephan and Madeline, she said, had grown very close. Stephan's description of his movements that morning became a focal point of the investigation immediately. The 38-year-old took police to the location by the church where he claimed to have left Maddy to walk the rest of the way.
Was it here?
It's along this stretch. I can't remember the exact spot, but it was around where these communities were. Oh, thank you. So it's like around where these communities were.
Okay.
And it's just like in this stretch, like we could see the overpass down there.
Where's the school?
Just on the other side of the overpass.
So somewhere around here.
So yeah, somewhere, maybe not this one, but the next one possibly. It's right in this stretch. When we just came down and we drove about halfway down, and she was like, "That's good right here."
Okay.
Initially, this story appeared to check out. A camera was located in front of the Peace Church property at the intersection of Town Loop Boulevard and Hunters Park Lane, right where Stephan claimed to have stopped. Deputies checked the church camera. It appeared to show a juvenile enter the property from Town Loop Boulevard at approximately 8:40 a.m. and sit down on the ground in the parking lot. The figure then stood to leave at 8:58 and walked off in the direction of the school. But there were issues with the footage. It was of extremely poor quality. As a result, the figure could not be confirmed to be Madeline. Not even the clothing could be seen clearly enough to discern a match to what she was thought to have been wearing. Additionally, what was somewhat visible on the recording was the vehicle that dropped off the blurry figure. It appeared to be a dark sedan, not a silver Lincoln. Indeed, traffic cameras did capture Stephan's car driving around the school area that morning, but not all the way to the location he stated. As his vehicle approached the school, he appeared to make a turn and began traveling in the opposite direction.
So keep in mind, all of this is still northbound.
Okay.
Right? You're still northbound on Jungyoung Parkway. Why is your car seen going southbound at 8:10? Your car is seen going southbound at this intersection. So meaning going toward Kissimmee.
Mm-hmm. I had forgotten something. I had forgotten my gate clicker. I'm sorry. I forgot. I had gone back to the house real quick after we left because I forgot my gate clicker. I actually had to go through the front gate and use my parking pass to grab my clicker. So it was the wrong time. I'm sorry. Like I said, I was guesstimating these times. I'm not a morning person.
The Orange County Sheriff's Department organized a massive search effort to find Madeline. Over 50 members of the emergency response team combed through hiking trails and woodland near to the school grounds. Dogs tracking Maddy's scent walked the paths, while ATVs and horses were utilized to cover the rough terrain.
We were able to access Madeline's phone, and there is information on the phone that indicated that she told people when she turned 13, which was on February 22nd, she actually wanted to go live in the woods. So that was in her phone.
While the search was ongoing, Jen and Stephan spoke with the local news media to help get the word out.
My boyfriend who drove her to school drove away at that point. It was seen on video footage that she hung out in the parking lot of the church for a few minutes and then got up and walked towards the school. But she never made it that walk and that was around 9 a.m. when she got up. She never made it to school after that. It's right next to the school. I don't know why she didn't make it. I don't know if something happened on her walk along the way or if she got taken, but she never made it. And I looked at their messages. Nothing was weird. I looked at all of her messages, all of her deleted messages. Nothing seemed weird. It didn't seem like she was talking to anyone. So I don't feel like that's the case. I feel like she may have been taken because this is not like her at all to just disappear and not let us know where she's going or who she's with. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure where to go from here. I'm just contacting the news to get the word out, to get some help because I'm desperate. I'm a wreck right now. I'm scared for her. I want her to be okay and I want her to be safe. I don't want her to come back harmed. I just want her back. Whatever that means. I just want her back.
Stephan reiterated what he told the deputies.
You seem very emotional right now. Explain to us.
I dropped her off. Everything looked fine when I drove away. It's the last time we saw her.
What were the conversations that y'all had in the car when you dropped her off?
Not much. She was asleep for most of the way. Told her have a good day at school when she got out. I love her. She said thanks, love you too. That was it.
Are you, in a sense, blaming yourself?
It's hard not to.
Why?
I dropped her off early. I could have waited longer. She looked okay. She was walking towards the school when I saw her. It was like any other day, so I went on with my day. It's hard not to blame myself.
The sheriff's department had been tracking Stephan's movements all over Kissimmee and the surrounding area using traffic cameras and building security footage. What they found was that the turn he made away from the school at 8:10 a.m. was not the only oddity in his course of travel that day. Security camera footage next to the apartment complex dumpsters captured Stephan discarding items into it at 7:30 a.m. After he claimed to do the school drop, he drove to a vape shop, only to find that it hadn't opened yet. He said he returned to the apartment complex for a time, then left again to go back to that vape shop. After that, he set off to a game store called House Rules. But just like numerous other locations that he said he intended to visit that day, Stephan drove towards them, but never actually reached these destinations. In this way, he explained why his car was captured in different locations around Orange and Osceola counties, but was never on camera entering a restaurant or shop. Sometime between noon and 2 p.m., the 38-year-old had to change a flat tire. When he did so, he said he was pulled over somewhere on US 192, a rural road that sees little traffic. He could not specify where exactly on the roadside he stopped to swap out the flat. Cameras placed him driving out to this area, but could not determine the full route he took. A search warrant was obtained for the home and Stephan's car. During the execution of the warrant, deputies requested access to Stephan's cell phone.
In the meantime, while we're waiting for all this to get sorted out, I am going to hold on to your phone, okay? I'll give it back to you when we're done. Okay? Do you have any questions for us?
How long are you going to need my phone?
I'm not sure. I'm waiting for my supervisor to call me.
My dad. It's just my dad's using that to get a hold of me and get updates.
They can call Jen's phone.
Okay.
Stephan reluctantly granted access to his device, which he claimed he had accidentally reset to its factory settings. In fact, forensics teams found that on the day Maddy disappeared, he performed a factory reset on his phone not once, but twice. Detectives also traced the trash from the apartment complex dumpster to the facility where it was separately emptied. The Orange County Sheriff's Office Forensics Unit located the intact tread of a tire. The pattern matched the rear passenger tire of Stephan's vehicle. In close proximity to the tire, the crime scene investigators located a white trash bag. It was this bag that Stephan was seen tossing into the apartment dumpster before the school run, around 7:30 a.m. The trash bag contained a black backpack with what appeared to be purple Hawaiian print and one white Croc. The matching shoe was found in one of the bedrooms inside the house. Inside the backpack, CSIs located an Orange County public school computer with Madeline Soto's name on it.
So thank you for being here. We have some important developments in this case that we want to share with our community. I wish we were here to tell you that we have found Madeline, but we have not found her. Last night, detectives from the Kissimmee Police Department met with Madeline's mother, and they had to tell her the very devastating news that although we have not found Madeline, we are now confident that she is dead. So our efforts will be focused on recovering Madeline. Our detectives have determined that Madeline was never dropped off on the morning of February 26th near her school. Instead, we believe she was already dead at the time.
Just after tossing the white trash bag into the compactor at 7:30 a.m., Stephan returned to his vehicle. This camera footage has not been released. After hearing what is captured, the decision to keep it private is easy to understand. According to police, visible in the front passenger seat of the Lincoln was a female wearing a green hoodie, her head tilted onto her left shoulder. One police report described the young girl as slumped over in an abnormal way for a person to be seated. At roughly 8:20 a.m., Stephan drove out through the complex's gates, briefly interacting with a security guard. Just over an hour later, after driving his slumped-over passenger towards different destinations, Stephan's vehicle entered a parking garage at a Holiday Inn. There, he parked. Police say the security footage in the parking garage shows the driver exit the car, lift what appears to be a limp body from the front passenger seat, and move her into the trunk. The car then exited the lot. Stephan's vehicle was captured driving on Old Hickory Tree Road and Nolte Road later that day. Somewhere in this area, he stopped to change his tire. By 4:40 p.m., he had returned to the complex, where he tossed tire treads into the dumpster. Roughly around this time, Jen Soto was at the Hunter Creek School, frantically trying to locate her daughter. Stephan Stearns was arrested and held in custody, but not, at least initially, for murder. That charge was certainly on the police's radar, but they had uncovered a wealth of other incriminating evidence that compelled an immediate arrest. Detectives found that a Google Drive was linked to Stephan's phone. The drive contained disturbing materials of a sexual nature dating over a period of roughly 2 years throughout 2022 and 2023. A number of these over 1,700 images and videos depicted Madeline. A notable physical feature of Stephan's was visible in many of these images, which removed any doubt that he was the adult male pictured. After a thorough inventory of the contents were made, Stephan Stearns was charged with 60 counts, including sexual battery, and charges specifically relating to his actions with a minor. Metadata containing the date that each picture or video was taken meant that many of the charges applied to a child under the age of 12, particularly heinous and vile crimes. In fact, recent changes in Florida law meant that had the dates on these files varied by even a few months, he could have faced the death penalty if convicted of the abuse charges. A law applying a potential death sentence for these crimes was signed into Florida law in December of 2023. As it stood, the 60 charges against him could still yield a term of life in prison if convicted on all or most counts. On Friday, March 1st, 2024, law enforcement received a tip that Stephan Stearns had been spotted changing a flat tire in the area of Hickory Tree Road in St. Cloud. The witness placed him with his vehicle very near to the last camera that had captured him driving that way on the afternoon of February 26th. At about 4:30 that afternoon, the sheriff's department contacted the landowner of the field behind a locked gate, opposite the section of the road where Stephan was thought to have pulled over. Opening the gate, they wandered to the left, where there is a long line of tall bamboo trees. At that point, the captain noticed blue jeans just a few feet into the bamboo tree line. Under the trees, they spotted what appeared to be a body. Her top half was covered by a green-colored hooded sweatshirt. She wore blue jeans. It seemed that the young girl was covered by pieces of hay or dry grass.
So what we did was we sent our units out here and we did discover what appears to be a body. The body has clothing very similar to what the victim was last seen wearing. We cannot say it is the victim's body at this time until it's confirmed from the medical examiners.
It was later confirmed that the girl found in the tree line was Madeline Soto. Due to the assumed nature of the crime involving domestic violence and that she was a minor, the cause of death was not officially released. Local news reported that they had come to believe from speaking with their sources in the medical examiner's office that Madeline had died of strangulation. There has been a predictable amount of speculation relating to what Jennifer Soto knew about what was happening in the home and when she knew about it. The inconsistencies in the mother's story did not help with her credibility, though it must be acknowledged that a certain amount of confusion is understandable and expected given the stress of losing her daughter. One deputy reported that Jen stated that she last saw her daughter in the morning getting ready for school at approximately 8 a.m. This sighting would explain how she thought she knew what her daughter was wearing that day, though her description did not match what Maddy was found wearing under the bamboo trees. In a later interview, Jen stated only possibly hearing her daughter that morning. Jen now states that she did not, in fact, see Maddy the morning she disappeared. She awoke around 7 or 8 a.m. and heard Stephan taking the dog for a walk. She did not hear Maddy in the house at all. Jen then left for an appointment at roughly 9:30. Stephan had not yet returned from taking Maddy to school, she said. According to Kissimmee PD, Jen is not a suspect in the case. Detective Morris, who took lead in the investigation upon the discovery of materials on Stephan's cloud account, confronted Jennifer with some of the images. The detective wrote that when confronted, Jen denied being able to identify the people in the photos. He reported that it was clear what was being depicted, but despite this, Jen insisted that she didn't recognize anything in the picture, as if she was in denial. However, he wrote, she became visibly upset. Detective Morris had spoken with Jen on February 27th, 3 days before Madeline was found. He noted in his report that the distraught mother referred to her daughter throughout the interview in the past tense. Stephan Stearns was indicted for first-degree murder for the death of Madeline Soto. He has subsequently refused to appear in court for any hearings. He had expressed his discontent over the conditions offered at the county jail.
Don't know why they don't do that, why don't they just kind of like at least give you a blanket,
My core temperature was down. The temperature was like a degree or two lower than it should have been.
Wow.
Couldn't regulate. Sleeping on bare metal. The first night I was on a concrete floor with a roll of toilet paper for a pillow and nothing else. Begging for a blanket or a pad to sleep on for like 2 days. I think they were supposed to do something.
The state of Florida has declared its intention to seek the death penalty. Legal commentators have speculated that if Stephan does push for a trial, it would only be to save him from death row. Based on what has been uncovered, there is no realistic case to be made for his innocence. In Florida, a jury no longer needs to be unanimous in its decision to use capital punishment. A vote of 8-4 jurors in favor is sufficient to hand down this sentence. Madeline Soto is deeply mourned by family and friends. Her closest friends at school cried as they told police about their time with Maddy and how much they missed her. A community prayer for her safe return tragically shifted to a vigil on the night that she was found.
Broke my heart because the first thing that came to my mind was my own daughter. And I'm sure that everybody thinks of that at a tragic moment like this.
It's heartbreaking and saddening to kind of see this happening. Your children are supposed to be protected. And unfortunately, in this case, she was exposed.
That was the tragic case of Madeline Soto. Thank you once again for joining me here today, and a special thanks to Ewall, Scooby B, and Santino Stevens for joining the Members Lounge. I'm Kevin, this is Just Thought Lounge, and I'll see you in the next one.
Take my time, cause these crimes get deep, but these stories can't hide. Let me find my seat. Kevin, go ahead and settle in. Gotta be selective, doing all the research, keeping it objective. Always been effective, can say he got a knack. Pick of the litter, you see how Newton got his back. Yeah, the content that you need, this could be a new sign. We talking in the comments, they jotting.